So we started this training last week, and we spoke about the data entry so that people can know what they need to enter in the HR. So this is the screen for the HR in Oracle. So we did some few exercise last week, and this is similar to what we did last week. And I will just kind of recap in case some people were not here last week. So what we did was, in case for the HR team, they want to enter a new hire onto the Oracle system. So they get all the information, which is might be on the kind of spreadsheet, or it could be on a kind of new hire template which they normally get. So they complete all the details. So the first thing they do is to add the last name, the first name, the title. If there's a middle name, you can add a middle name. So the moment you pick up a title, it automatically defaults to a gender, so which is male or female. And here, because I've already done this, you click here. There's something here which is action. It's called create employment. And when you create employment, you pick up employee. So that's why employee automatically comes up here. So once it comes up here, you add the national identifier, which is the NI. This is not validated, so this is not a UK NI number, so it's not validated, so you can put any national ID. So once you complete this, you put the date of birth. So once you do that, it automatically default the age. So, and also you add the marital status. In the marital status, these are some of the options. We can add more options to what we have. So once you do that, then you pick up the nationality. So this has got a lot of nationality all over the world. So you can pick up any option that is suitable for you. Town of birth, region of birth. These are free text, so you can type in anything you want. Also, country of birth, you can pick up, let's say, a country of birth, let's say United Kingdom. So you can pick up anything that is suitable for you. So once you do that, you just use this yellow to save. So it says correction, so that's okay. So United Kingdom. So it's a nationality, there is British. So we can, let's see if we can see British. Okay, so British is there. So that's fine. So based on the information you get, you can just complete this form. Once you do that, you go to the address, you complete the address. So this could be, let's say, United Kingdom address, so, or United Kingdom International. So it allows you to add any address within United Kingdom. So once you do that, you save it. So I'm not going to save. So once you do that, you put the phone number. So the options for the phone number. Now remember, all this information will be on your spreadsheet, because when you're creating a new hire, you get every single information. So these are the options for the phone type which we got. So you can just add it and just add the phone number. So this will be the country code and the numbers, and you save it. So once you do that, I told you, you can go to others. In the others, the only thing you need here is just to go to contacts. In the contacts, this is where you can add the family details. So it could be a spouse, it could be children, it could be any relative. So you can add the information here. So once you do that, the next thing you need to do is to go to assignment. Now the assignment is actually a combination of where this new hire will be working, where the department will be, what the payroll will be, what the salary will be, and every other information. So for example, organization will be where it's actually going to be working. So it's going to, let's say it's going to be working in HR section. So this is what you need to complete. There's a lot of list of values, but you can just select one. So once you do that, you add the job. The job will be what kind of job is it going to be doing. So what grade would he have? Normally in most companies, you always have a grade. So grade will be, it could be between 20K and 30K per annum, or it could be any amount of so this the grade rates will be attached to this grade. Every grade has got a kind of grade rate. The grade rates will be between 20, let's say 20 to 25K. So another grade rate could be 25 to 30K. So this will actually, so that people don't go beyond the grade. So the next one will be the location. So the location where will be the office for this new hire. So you add the location there. So the next one will be position. Now position, we don't use position, but we can actually set it up during the course of this training. So payroll will be what payroll would this employee be? Remember, when you have, let me presume, let's say you have 1,000 employees. If you have 1,000 employees in the new company, which you're going to be working on, they might probably divide the payroll into 3, or they might probably divide into 4 or 5, depending on how easy it will be easy for them to maintain it. So because the reason why you divide, for example, 1,000 employees into different payrolls is easy for maintenance. If you have only one payroll for maybe 1,000 employees, there could be difficulty in maintaining it. So that's why most of the time they divide it. Or at times you can actually have one payroll for 1,000 employees, depending on how you can actually maintain it. So this is for the payroll. Status, it always defaults to active assignments. So once you're creating a new hire, it defaults to active assignments. The next one, which we got, is the assignment number. The assignment number will be based on this assignment number here. So it doesn't change and you don't need to populate it. It is automated. And the next one will be full-time. So if it's going to be full-time or it's going to be part-time, so you just add the category there. So once you do that, the next one will be the salary information. This salary information is also linked to this grade. So salary basis will be how the payments will be made to the employee. So basically it's got a lot to do with payment. So I will show you how it works. So, and also it works hand in hand with salary administration. The next one we got is just a supervisor. You need to add a supervisor, and also if the person will be on probation, so you can add maybe 6 months or 1 month, and the notice period in case he wants to leave. It could be one and the unit. Sorry, it could be 1 and the unit will be, so it could be maybe you want work 1 week notice, 1 month notice, 1 hour notice, or 1 day notice. So it depends on any units you want to pick up. So let's just pick up 1 month, and I will save that. So also standard condition says how many hours is going to be working. So this guy is going to be working 40 hours, or it could be 40 hours inclusive of lunch. So it could be 40 hours, it could be 37.5, it could be 37 hours per week. So, and also it says hourly or salaried. This is going to be salaried because it's a full-time employment. So it says normal time. So when it's going to start work, when it's going to finish work. So this is, let's say, 9 to 5. So 9 to 5, you can add this, but it's not mandatory. Anything you see that is white is not mandatory. Anything that you see is yellow is actually mandatory. So once you complete that, you go. Now this is just a kind of additional information, because the reason why we have additional information is this page is standard from Oracle. You cannot add any other field into this page. The same thing with this page is standard. You cannot add anything to this field. Now in case there's a new requirements for your office and you say, oh, we want to capture this information and these are the values, we want to capture this information, these are the values, you had it somewhere here. So that's why you have something like this. So you had it here. So these are kind of extra information. So so we call it DFF. So, and also you can add extra information here as well. These are just extra information. For example, Oracle doesn't use work schedule, they don't use local job title, so this is per company requirement. So you can just add a new field. So I will show you how to create a new field, and also how to enter the options or the values that need to be populated within this field. So once you've done this extra requirements, the next thing you need to do is to go to payment method. Now this payment method is got to do with where would the salary for this employee be paid. So you can add the information here. So the information, this is one of the ones we've done. So you can just add the information here. So so you can just add the account number, so the bank number, so the bank name, and any other information that is applicable to that employee. So once you've done that, you save it, but I'm not going to do anything on this one. So the next one will be budget FTE. I'm not sure if anybody has had a budget. This budget FTE will be is very good for, especially for PTO. PTO will be for vacations, so it automatically calculates vacation. So normally this is always 1, and this is always full time. For anybody working full time, it's always 1. Now anybody that is working, let's say, for example, this lady is working 40 hours per week. If it's 20 hours per week, you just need to add 0.5. So that's just the calculation behind it. So for this one, I don't need to do anything, so I can just move out. Okay, the next one will be salary. So once you click on salary, where's the salary? Okay, it's still coming up. So the system is very slow. Okay, so if we don't use that, we can actually use what is on Oracle. So once you click on okay, so these are the, let me just remove this. So for salary, once you complete the salary, it automatically comes up on the salary page here. Oh, sorry, I think sorry, entries. Yeah. So once you do the salary, it automatically, for example, I've already done salary for the, just put 33,333. So I just put it there. So once you do that, that's it. So, and that's all the information you get. Now, what we have here on this element entry, so once we create some element, the element will be, it's actually called allowances. So because when there is a new entry, there might be some standard allowance which you need to add or which you need to give to that employee. It could be transportation allowance, it could be any form of allowance. So you will need to add it here, but we need to create it first. So once we create it, then you can add it. So it could be £30 a month, it could be £40 a month. So it could be or some of these allowances could be deduction, or it could be a earning. So if it's earnings, then we just need, we're going to be giving the employee £30 every month, then you just need to create the allowance, and that will add up to the salary. So this is where all the salary, that's why we call it element name. So also when it comes to the vacation, you had the vacation here as well. So in the vacation, we need to create a vacation as well, but this is one of the few things which we need to do when we come to the configuration. There's so much to do, but hopefully we will try to finish this within the limited time that I've got to do all this. Now, this is just a kind of recap. So there's more to this, but this is a kind of recap on what we did last week. Now, the next thing which I've got here will be when you get to a company and they said, okay, come and do a configuration for us. Then the first thing you need to do is to ask them and say, have you got all the information? Now, all the information will be, have you everything I need to configure, is it ready, so that I can start configuration as soon as possible. Now, most of the time, they will always say no, or some of them will say, yeah, we've got some information, and some of the information they're going to be sending to you will be maybe email, the kind of requirements which they already have. They start sending different emails. And to be honest, when somebody sends you 40, 50 emails, are you going to compile it together? That's a lot. So I say, oh yeah, we'll send all this information to you, 50 emails, read them and configure. It is very difficult to do. So normally what I try to do, especially if I get to a place of work and they've not actually done the business requirements, is for me to collate all the information they've got, sit down with the local HR and ask them as much information. Now, I need to first understand the operating system they're using. If they're not using Oracle, then that means whatever operating system they've got, I need to start doing a lot of mapping, requirement gathering and mapping map it to Oracle. So I've got a document here which I believe is quite a lot, and with this information, I'm not sure where to start with this. Okay, this, for example, when you get to a place of work and they say, okay, come and do a configuration for us. You look at the first thing you need to check is the operating system. You need to check, okay, what is their work structure? Their work structure will consist of what is their locations, what is their organizations, what kind of job are they doing, or what kind of job do they assign to employees, what kind of organization do they have, what kind of work schedule do they have, or work pattern. So also, if you see what I put here, I says there's employee administration. This is got to do with a kind of or the kind of what kind of administration do they have, especially when it comes to salary administration, payroll administration. What kind of absence management do they have? This absence management will be a combination of sick pay and also vacation and also any statutory leave. So it falls under absence management. Now, are they using anything called employee or manager self-service? Now, this employee self-service will be something that employees can do themselves. So that will be a combination of many things. I will show you how to do that. And also, it could be a combination of what managers can do on behalf of the employee, which will consist of maybe entering a vacation, entering a sick leave on behalf of the employee, approving approving vacations, approving a lot of, there's different menus, so they can also make a lot of approval. So we call it AME. So this is also manager self-service. We also have payroll. What kind of payroll are they using? And also, what kind of security do they have? Do they have any kind of interface? Do they have any kind of third-party system apart from any specific operating system which they're using? Are they interfacing it into another third system? So or another third-party system. So we need to ask all these questions. And also reporting. Reporting is anywhere you go, reporting is very, very important. So once you are able to capture all this, so I've actually added some few information here. This is a lot. This is 186 pages. So the best thing, I will talk to Bolaji and see if this can be sent. I can send it to anybody. I'm not really bothered anyway, so people can have a clue how it actually works. So when you get to a place, now I put something here on the right hand side. On the right hand side, you can see something which I added here. So this is very, very little. I just put, okay, what's the client's name? You have the client's name. These are just specific information. What's the change, distribution, change history, distribution. So as put here, what's the company name? What kind of business are they doing? What is their primary location? Now remember, it depends on the kind of company you're working on. There's some company which is the only branch is only in UK. They're not international at all. So if they're not international, you're very lucky. So there's nothing much to do. If it's a global business, so that means you will do some configuration for UK. You go to US, you do some configuration, but most of the time it will be a kind of almost the same setup, but most of the time it will be different business group. If that's the requirement, it could be different, the same business group, but most of the time, if it's international, it's always a separate business group. Now, if it's local as well, if it's within United Kingdom, depending on the requirements and depending on what they want, it could be one business group. That means the company, and there's a lot of hierarchy under it, or there could be, they can tell you, hold on, even though we have many branches within the United Kingdom, we want everyone to stay on their own. They must be separate. So that means they need to be a separate business group. So, which is okay. That will take a bit of time as well, but not as much as you working in an international company. So it says, what's the company name? What kind of business do they do? What's the primary location? So if it's an international company, you can actually add all the locations here, or if you're commissioned to do a configuration for, let's say, their branch in United Kingdom. So you can just use this questionnaire only for United Kingdom. So just put United Kingdom there. Or there was the other location. And here it says what's the number of employees. So if you're working for a United Kingdom company, you can just ask them how many permanent staff do they have, and what's the temporary staff, which is kind of contingent or consultants, or maybe an agency, how many do they have, and what's the total. And also it says dates of implementation. When do you want this implementation to start? When was the go live? So they can actually give you a time, but it doesn't mean you will need to stick to that time. You can actually extend it depending on the implementation which you need to do. It says how many nationalities do you have? It could be a global nationality, so just add it there. So it says ethnic origin. What are the ethnic origin? Are they African, Caribbean? So are they British? Just put every information there. It says apart from UK format. So these are there could be many questions. These are the kind of, I've used this I think 15 years ago. So this might not be, some of them will be relevant and some of them might not be relevant. It says do you want to retain pictures if currently used in your legacy system? So that means if they have pictures that needs to show. So, but for Oracle, they don't always use picture anyway, so you can just ignore this. It says original business as implementation. Yeah, it says what is the version which you want to use. There's release 11, there's release 12, and there's also Fusion. So you can just ask them what exactly the instance which they actually want to implement. It says what is the current Oracle version which they're using. If they're not using Oracle, just put non-applicable. If they're using SAP or any operating system, even if they're using a spreadsheet, just add spreadsheet there. So whatever operating system they're using, just put it there. It says number of professional HR users. So these are the kind of HR business partners, or it could be any super users which they have. That means people who understand Oracle. So people, not mainly data entry. Data entry might not be professional HR users, but people who knows HR in and out. That's what they mean by professional HR users. They might not know Oracle, but because this will be your core point. Because all this professional HR, you need to ask them a lot of questions, and this will be the people that are going to test what you've done. So also it says number of self-service HR user. So if they have any form of employee self-service or manager self-service, which are not Oracle, so you can just ask them what kind of HR users do they have. Now this HR self-service user could be the same number with the number of employees, because every employee will have access to self-service anyway. It says how many in your current operating system, how many responsibilities do you have. Responsibility will be just like I was able to go into this system. This is a kind of responsibility that allowed me to enter all these details. There's some people, their responsibility could be only to do this. When they log in, they will never be able to see all these tabs. So there might be some, so the only page they can see is just this. There's some people, they can see this page, they can see every single tab, and they can do a lot of things on it. There's some people, what they can do is only to do query only. So those are the different set of responsibility. Query only would be, they will just query Smith UK, and they will never be able to enter anything. It's just read only. So that's why it says how many responsibilities do you have and what security profile. Now the security profile will be what will limit people accessing some pages, which is mainly called security profile. So if I limit somebody not to see this, I can do that using a security profile. If I limit somebody only to do read only, I can do this using a security profile. So there's so many things which security profile can do. So because security profile will limit access. So the next one says future support model. It says, please detail which component of your service you would potentially like Tunde to provide support, functional. So it says, what area do you actually want me to work on for you? So for me, would be functional because I'm more functional. Then when it now comes to technical, they will tell me, yeah, we want somebody to do technical because apart from doing a functional role, there's a lot of technical ability that needs to come into place. So, and also you need a DBA. So the DBA will be the one that will be refreshing the instance, that will be cloning, that will be migrating. So you need a DBA. So yeah, for a new implementation, we can say, yeah, we want a functional consultant, we want a technical consultant, and we want a DBA. Now, nowadays some companies, they want buy one get one free. So it could be, they could say, Tunde, we want you to do functional and technical, paying you the same money, no problem. Then you go for it. If you tell them, oh sorry, I'm not technical, so they just look for somebody for technical and somebody else for DBA. So let me keep on going. So here it says, please indicate the number of functional super users that you have. And now these functional super users, which I mentioned earlier, so what kind of functional super users do they have? Who knows HR in and out? And it says outline the tasks that they currently undertake. So this will kind of help you from your perspective to be able to know who to relate to, especially when it comes to asking questions, and also in terms of testing. Because if you're asking a lot of people questions, definitely whatever question or whatever information they give to you, once you implement it, they will be the one to test it because you've already documented it. So also there's so many information which you can put here. So, and here it says what kind of model. So implementation, it says what kind of HRMS model. Normally this is now called ACM, because this is like 15 years ago, so just forget about HRMS. So it says what are the following HCM models that you want to implement. So these are the models. Now this is very old as well. They don't use recruitment anymore. So, but these are very old, but some of them are still relevant. They don't use OLM anymore. So they use something else now anyway. So the main thing is, we want to implement HR, we want to implement payroll, we want to implement learning management, time and labor, we want to implement that. Recruitment, they don't use recruitment anymore, they use Talio. Advanced benefits. Advanced benefits is not really common in UK, but they still use it, but it's more common in US. And also we want a manager and employee self-service. Of course, we want reporting. We want a lot of custom reports. So that's why they say custom applications and customizations. There's going to be a lot of customizations if it's required. Now, a lot of companies, they try as much as possible not to do too much customizations. Customization is very, very common in UK, but not in many other countries. In other countries, they like as much as possible to use standard. But when it comes to reports, they don't mind doing. They either use BI reports, which is business intelligence, or they use a customized report. So the next one is now. This is the main implementation that we need to look at. It says, how many business groups do you want? Now, this business group, like I said, is a kind of hierarchy. So business group stays on top. So it says, okay, once you because when you're doing an implementation, the first thing you need to set up is the business group. Once you set up the business group, you link that business group to your responsibility, and I mean quite a lot of information. So you set up the business group. That's the first thing you do, and that business group would be, it could be a business group for UK, it could be a business. So I'm not sure if I can type. Oh no, it doesn't allow me to type. Okay, it could be a business group for UK, a business group for for US, a business group for, let's say, Morocco, a business group for, let's presume you are working on 5 countries, a business group for China, and a business group for Malaysia. So that means you have separate business group, and under that separate business group, every one of them have got their own specific hierarchy. If you're working on only one business group, just put UK. So and the number of business, that's why I say what are the number of business groups. So if it's 5, you put 5. If it's only 1, just put 1. Now it says the legislation. Each country have got their own legislation. Now, there's some Oracle I've got, I mean, most of the time when Oracle, anywhere they have a lot of businesses, any country they have lots of businesses, you always see them having a legislation. Countries like which are not very common, what I mean is they don't have a lot of American companies, you don't always see them having a legislation. Legislation will be what is specific to this country. What are the statutaries? What are the rules? What are the legislation for this country? What they do is they actually put it within Oracle, so that instead of using UK for Morocco, or you use United Kingdom for, let's say, Nigeria, they wouldn't do that. So would they look at, okay, what kind of in this country, in this specific country which you want to implement, what are the legislation? How many businesses are there? Are there a lot of businesses? Then you can see legislation for that country. The legislation will be local legislation. It could be national legislation. So anything that is really specific to that country. So that's what they put in the legislation. It says how many organizations do you want to set up? Organization would be how many department do you want to set up. So department would be it could be human resources, it could be accounting department, it could be, I mean, various departments. So that's what it means. And once you do the various departments, you add it under an hierarchy. And when you set it up under an hierarchy, you add the hierarchy to this business group. So that's where your hierarchy actually get formed. So that's what I mean by hierarchy. So once you set up the business group, you create all the organizations, you add all your organizations under the hierarchy, and you add the hierarchy under the business group. So that's where your business group comes to. So that's where the security profile will come in. So nothing will go beyond that business group. So it's everything will be within that business group. But I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, it says what are the person type. The person type is similar to this. But what are so this person type would be, is he an employee? Is he a contingent? Contingent would be is he an agency? So you need to set up different person types. So but what is mainly common will always be an employee. Also, another group that will be common will be agency, because most companies they might just need some people for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. So you need all those information. So it says what are the person type which they already use in their existing system. So whatever they're using, you need to map it to whatever you need to set up here. Now, if I'm in mapping, you can actually pick up whatever they have and you can actually set it up if you think it will fit into Oracle. So you can do that. So the same, and also you can add contractors. You can add as much person type as you want. It says, are you using Oracle HRMS to capture? Now, are you using Oracle HRMS or Oracle HR at the moment? If they're not using Oracle HR at the moment, just say no. It says, please detail the absence reason captured. Absence reason would be if somebody is on vacation, what is the reason why they went on vacation? Absence reason could be if they're sick, what is the reason why they're sick? So we have different types of absence reason. So you need to capture this in their existing requirements, existing system which they have. And once you do that, then you need to add it to Oracle. So I will show you how to do that. It says, what are the absence category? Absence category is always sickness, vacation, it could be holiday, it could be maternity, it could be paternity. So those are the kind of absence categories which we have. So so these are the, I say, are you using Oracle to calculate your entitlement using PTO accruals? Remember, when it comes to vacation, people are entitled to 24 days. They're entitled to 30 days, depending on the length of service. So that's what they mean by what are the entitlement. Are you using Oracle to capture that? No, so they're not using Oracle at all. So they're using another operating system. So these are a lot of information regarding vacations. It says, do you have a plan breakdown? The plan breakdown will be when you go to Oracle. I'm not sure if I can show you here. Oh no, I don't think it's got it. So these are the across. So it has, okay. So the breakdown would be the kind of different elements. So this would be the entitlements which you have every year. This will be minus, or maybe it will be a kind of, there will be another element will be which will be a kind of subtraction. So it to say how many days are you taking every month or every 2 months or every 3 months. So that will be, let's say 24 days minus 1 day or minus 2 days. So this will be a breakdown of elements. I will show you how to set this up later on. So there's various information here, which I believe will take a bit of our time. So, and I know we have the payroll. So once we have the payroll, to be honest, I can send this to everybody. Now we have the learning management. We don't need to worry ourselves with all this OTL and learning management. Recruitment, we're not using that. We're using title. So advanced benefits, we're not doing that for now. Manager self-service and reporting, I will show you guys what to do on that. So basically, these are just basic information. So this will actually help you to start your configuration, because every information you get here will allow you to document what I showed you earlier, which is this one. For example, I've used this document before and I was able to develop this. Now, if you notice, this is 186 pages. So this is quite a lot. So you can actually see, if you notice, this is location. So in the location, so we've got these are, okay, I said, what are the location name? What is the description? What's the address type or address style? So I kind of get all the information which I wanted based on the location, because I actually get the real data. And I was able to put it on the spreadsheet, sorry, on the Word documents. So there's so many information here. So the same thing with organization. I will show you. Now these are the organization which I pick up. That was a long time ago. So these are the organization they want to use. These are the cost center. So if I keep on going, I keep on going. So there's quite a lot of organization. So now the organization would be a kind of department which I mentioned. So these are the hierarchy which I mentioned earlier on. So this will actually allow me to add the organizations to the hierarchy. So there's so many informations here. So now I mentioned job. So I need to set up the job position. This company, they're not using position, or they're using, so whether they're using it or not, we can set it up or we might not set it up at all. Grade is very important. So what kind of grade do they have, and what are the grade rates? So these are the kind of information which we have. So employee administration is there. So the person type which I mentioned to you. So we have the employee, we have ex-employee, we have applicants. Now this one you can just ignore. Nobody use applicant anymore, because applicant is really only for recruitment. So we're not using recruitment, so we can just ignore this too. Contingent would be people who are agencies, or they could be, and also we have external record. External record would be people who just come maybe for 1 day. At times, for the company which I was working with, they want people who come for 1 day to work with them only for 1 day. So we'll just call them external. So because they're not really, I wouldn't say they're relevant, but they're a little bit not relevant. So what are the titles? If you notice, I just put some titles there based on what they wanted. The name, what are the employee numbering? So employee numbering could be maybe when you go in, for example, if I set up a new employee, and I save, this number automatically comes up. Now, but if I will set it up in such a way that we say it should be manual, so that means employee numbering, you need to manually do that. The problem with that is there could be a lot of mistakes. So that's why it's always good to automate it. So the next one is, so basically there's so much information here which you can do, but what I can do is, let's just start with only one, because I know we have just 10 minutes more before we go for question and answer. So let me just start with something so that you know how this is actually set up. So the first thing I need to do is to go to sysadmin. So in this sysadmin, you go to application, flex field, and keep. Now, there's 5 key flex field which are very, very crucial. We call them job. Number 1 is job. Number 2 is people group. Number 3 is grade. Number 4 is I can't remember. Yeah, cost allocation. And there's one number 5, I can't remember. I think it's personal analysis. So you need those information. I will tell you the reason why you need them. Let me quickly show you. So if I go to one of the work structure, organization. So for example, if I want to set up a new business group, I can just say a new business group will be, let me just say UK underscore BG. I can just say business region, it doesn't matter. Then normally you start from 1951. Nobody starts in 1951. You say 1951 and you save. So once you save, you just click on business group, and you click on enabled and you save. The reason why I said those 5 items in FlexSuite are important, you go to business group information. If you notice, this is important. The grade is important. The job is important. The costing is important. The position is important, and also the competency. The competency will be the personal. Will actually be the competency. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are very important. Without these 5, you cannot even proceed at all. So with that, this is what we need to set up. So once you know you need this, and you need to have this for every separate business group. And this is where the legislation code. So if you're doing United Kingdom, you just click on the United Kingdom. The moment you select United Kingdom, everything that has got to do with United Kingdom legislation displays. It will not display US. It will not display any other country. It will only display United Kingdom. Everything that has got to do with United Kingdom, statutory, everything will comes up once you select this. So here, I'm not going to do anything here because I've not actually set up any grade. I've not set up any people group. I've not set up any costing. I've not set up any position. I've not set up any competency. So we can just go out of here. So I can just delete this and just do save and go out. So we can go back to sysadmin. So application, FlexSuite, key. So that's why they call them very key. They're very key. So the first thing I do is I'll just type in job. So in this job, I can just select, I can just say, I'm just trying to think now. Let's say UK underscore job. Sorry, job. Actually, let me use the code. So JOB. So UK job. Also. UK job. Okay, so you go to segments. In this segment, it doesn't make any difference for now, so we can just say UK job. We can change this later. So it says what are the attributes? On this attributes, just select segment 1. This one we can do the value set later. Because of our time, we can do the value set later. So I will show you how to do the value set. So with this, I can just quickly save. Once you save this, then you go out. Because it's a job, so the 2 things you need to do before you do your final save is to freeze and allow dynamic insertion. Then you save. Okay. Yeah, so it's been saved. The next thing you need to do, remember I said costing. Cost allocation. So here we can just put UK underscore cost. Cost. Oh, good. Cost. Again, you go to segments. Number 5. I can just put cost. Sorry, cost center. Okay. I haven't done this for a while, so yeah. So this one could be business unit. So that's segment 1. Segment 2. We can do the value set later. I just want to make sure something is here for now, and even this information we can actually change it as well. So then you save. So once you save this for the cost center, I think you need to do flex field qualifier. So that means what you're saying is I want my cost because there's some 6 to 7 places where cost allocation displays. It displays in the assignment, it displays in balancing, it displays in elements and element entry, it displays in organization, and also it displays in payroll. I will show you where it displays. So the best thing is once you do that, just click this. If you don't click it, it will not display. So just save. So you've done that for the first one. For the second one, flex with qualifier. So you want it to display in all these names. I will show you where they are, and I will save. Okay, so that's for the costing. So I'm really mindful of time now. So the next one will be, let me just say competence. So competence, we can just select one and just say UK, that's fine. So this one, we don't need to do anything there. So just save it, freeze, and allow, then save. The next one is people group, yeah, if I'm right, people. So with this people group, just create a new one. Just say UK underscore people. So UK underscore people. Yes, sir. Okay, so you go in there. Let's just add something for now. I can just say PTO. So you go to column, segment 1, that's fine. Then save. This one, I don't want it to be mandatory, so I can just remove required. And okay, so once you do that, allow, freeze, and save. And the last one is what's the last one again? I can't, grade, if I'm right. Have I done grade? Okay, I don't think I've done grade. Okay, I haven't done grade. So the last one is grade. So UK underscore grade. Grade. Go to segments. Just add something there for now. UK grade. Select this segment 1. Save. Okay, freeze. Allow dynamic insertion. Then save again or compile. Yeah, it compiles itself anyway. Okay, so once you've done that, then you will be able to go to So let's go to the BG. So let me set it up from any responsibility. I'm not even sure which one I'm using. Okay, yeah, good. So let me just do this. So go to work structure, organization, description. Remember, I think I set a one UKBG find. So I will enable this. Go to others. So it wants me to save it. So save. Go to others. Business group. Short name, just UK underscore BG. Employee numbering, this is where numbering comes from. Now, if remember, I've got I can use an automatic using sequence. I can use manual. Now, manual will be employee will be employee numbers will be done manually, which is very risky. So let's make it automated so that it can be automated. So the same thing, automated for an applicant, automated for contingents. So if I select UK, so the UK which I created keep on coming up. So UK here, UK there, UK. And oh, I haven't done position. Oh God, I remember I forgot something. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I've done that one. So I need to quickly do position. So or else, actually, let me just use. No. Let's create our own position. Sorry about it. So I need to quickly create a position. I knew I'm forgetting something. So let me quickly create a position because it's always good for you to have yours rather than using somebody else. So if I go back in. Go back to sysadmin. So application, flexfield key. You go in there. Position. So let's just quickly create ours. So UK position. UK position. That's fine. So let me make this a little bit underscore. So go there. So number 5. Let's say UK post. Oh, sorry. UK post. That's fine. Segments number 1. Then save. Then allow dynamic. Freeze. Then save. Okay, so once we go back, so work structure, so you take this again, save, then you go to business information, you click there, so UK BG, you make it auto, then UK, then UK, and legislation, United, let's say United Kingdom, if that's what we want to use, the United Kingdom, currency, GBP, fiscal year, that's 0 and think April, fiscal year, April, I would just say 2019. It doesn't make any difference, and it's not even mandatory. You don't need to do this, so we can just remove it. Just minimum working age 16. Now if you put minimum working age, that means you cannot employ somebody less than 15, so that's what it means. But in the future you can actually come back here and remove it. So then save. Then okay, then the BG, the business group is now done. So what we will do now, There's a specific document. Oh my God, I thought I have it. Yeah. Okay. There's this specific document which I wanted to share with everybody, but I don't think I've got it now. It's got a lot to do with, I think I designed this, I think maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and to be honest, it's still very, very relevant. It's got everything, including screenshot of what I've been talking about for the past maybe 1 hour, and it shows you more. So maybe when Bolaji gets it, he can actually send it to you. I think it's almost close to 200 pages with screenshots and a kind of explanation of what I've been doing. So maybe every week she'll be sending you based on whatever we've done. So based on what we've done up to now, she can send it to you so that you can see how it looks like, including the screenshots. So that's it for me for today. So once next week, we can start on this business group, and we can start on the hierarchy. So you can see how the hierarchy actually looks like. Okay, so any question? Let me just quickly go to question. Is this just like data entry? Yeah, it's just like data entry, which is what I've been doing. Anything else? Tools can we access? Okay, yeah, I knew this will keep on coming. Now I've got the access to the to what I can send to you, but could you give me up to next week, because I want to make sure the Java is working properly. It is working on my laptop, so I just want to make sure it will be working for you, because depending on the operating system you use, I can send you the login and it might not work at all. This we only open when there is Java. So are you more of a developer, as most of the requirement is metadata for backend? No, I'm not a developer. I'm just a consultant. So okay, yeah, just like I mentioned, what we did last week was from the front end, but when it comes to the back end, yes. So if you're more of a data entry, this might not be useful for you, but it will be good for you just to be able to understand, this is what I've been working on for a while. Where is it coming from? So that's what we're doing. And that's where money is. It's not about you doing data entry. There's no money in data entry, but you need to know where things are coming from, how it is actually built, how it is configured. That's where you get the money. So that's why it's better for you to understand it. It might be a little bit complicated. It will be complicated, but I will make it very easy for you, to be honest. So when do we start configuration? We've already started. Okay, we've already started today. I mean, to be honest, what you don't want to do, which is what I try to do, I don't want to go straight into configuration. You will never understand it. So it's better for me to do a lot of explanation so you can understand the sequence of what you're doing. If I jump into configuration last week, some of you will not be here today. So that's why it's better for me to do it step by step, and that's why we started the business group first. Next week, we're going to start, to be honest, configuration has started now. So I'm not going to be going into data entry anymore. So configuration has started. So let's see how far we can go. Okay, no more question from me. So Bolaji, I can hand over to you, or Bodadeji, I can hand over to you now.
Yeah, thanks so much, Pastor Tune. Yeah, so I think that's all from us. If there's no any questions, so we'll meet next week.